Picture this. You've just risked everything to escape slavery. You've finally made it to safety up north. And someone looks you dead in the eye and says, "Awesome, now get on a boat." Yeah, because nothing screams freedom to a guy whose ancestors survived the Middle Passage, quite like stepping right back onto a floating death trap. Talk about missing the room completely.
That's how racism starts. But you know what? It was worth it. Yeah, it was worth it. I love traveling, man. I love traveling and learning about places, reading things, meeting new people. When I think about like the history of racism, I'm fascinated by racism as a concept, as an action, policy. All of it fascinates me. I read these stories in history. And one of the most fascinating things I read about recently, one of the most fascinating places, was a place called Rochester, New York, where genuinely, this blew my mind, where they had a city which was basically dedicated to rehabilitating people who had escaped slavery, right? So black people who had escaped the South, got into the North, were rehabilitated at this place. Frederick Douglass wrote many of his works there. The suffragette movement kicked off there. It's a powerful, powerful little place. And like I was reading these stories, and what they would do is slaves would escape from the South. They'd make their way to the North. They would get to Rochester. The Underground Railroad would get them there. And then they would rehabilitate them, put them on boats, and send them to Canada so that they could live free. And I was like, it's a fascinating story for two reasons. One, to remind you that there were a lot of good people, white people out there, because a lot of time I get angry at white people, and then I'm like, no, there's good ones, calm down. And the second part of it that was amazing was that they convinced black people to get back on boats. I think that's one of the most amazing stories I've ever read. Because do you know how convincing you'd have to be to convince someone who's they've just escaped slavery? Think about that for a second. Somebody's just escaped slavery, made their way there, finally. All right? They wake up after one night of free sleep. And they walk out like, "Hey, man, I just want to say thank you so much for everything you did for me, man." "Well, you know what, my friend? Nobody deserves to live the way you lived, and I'm glad we got you out." "Thank you so much. I appreciate you, brother." "Thank you, my friend. Okay, all we got to do now is get you some paperwork, get you cleaned up, and put you on a boat, get you to Canada, and you can live a free life. And everything's gonna be better." "I'm sorry, hold up. Yeah, go, could you come again? What did you say?" "Oh, I know, the paperwork thing is weird, but we gotta get you some identification." No, you said something about a boat?" "Yeah, we're gonna get you on a boat so you can get to..." I don't, we don't do boats no more. I don't know if you know our history, but me and my people, we took a cruise one time, that shit didn't go so well. So yeah, we gotta find another way to get to Canada if you don't mind." "No, but the boat is the best way for us to get there from Rochester." "Yeah, that might be the best way for y'all, but we gonna walk. Hell, we can run real good. We can run, but we ain't getting on no boat." "My friend, you gotta get on the boat." "I ain't gotta do shit. I just got free. Imagine if I get on that boat and on the other side I'm in the same place. What they gonna say to me? Why'd you get on that boat?" "Because he was real nice." "Oh, hell no. I ain't getting on no boat." "Well, you gotta get on the boat though. You gotta get, you're free now. You gotta get over this." "Look, man, maybe one day in a few hundred years, one of my descendants named Kanye West will be over this shit, but I ain't over it right now. So I ain't getting on no boat." We gotta get you on the boat, damn it. "I'm not getting on no boat." And that was the day the phrase "nigga please" was invented. A white man turned and he's like, "Nigger, please, I need you on that boat." And that story was passed down generation to generation. Black person to black person, free man to free man. So then that white man got down on his knees and he said, "Nigga, please. Nigga, please, nigga, please. I ain't never heard that phrase before in my life. Nigga, please, nigga, please, nigga, please." I know that's probably a phrase Barack Obama used at least once in the White House. At least once. Like, "Mr. President, do you think Trump is because of you? Do you think you caused this?" "Nigga, please." Just one time. One time I know he used it.
When world leaders face massive corruption scandals, they usually resign, apologize, or give a serious speech. But South Africa's former president Jacob Zuma took a completely different route. He weaponized the ultimate teenager defense mechanism, the dramatic, world-class eye roll. Who knew political evasion could look this effortlessly sassy?
Have you guys seen our president? Huh? Have you seen him lately? oh man, he's back. He's back and better than ever before, you know? The last few months have been so taxing on him. People fighting with him in Parliament, shouting things at him. He's been stressed, sitting in a corner, quiet, all to himself. And then he found out that he would be paying nothing, absolutely nothing for the upgrades at Nkandla. And he walked into Parliament, a new man. Had a bounce in his step. He had his swag back. Jacob 2.0. I mean, he's still doing the same things, making the same mistakes, but now he has a certain level of panache. I saw him mess up a speech the other day, stumbled on a word like he always does. This time though, he didn't frown, he didn't get stressed. He just worked through it. And here we can clearly see there are red marble. A marble red marble. A premeditated. Just came back and he handled it. I love how he just stepped away and did the cutest little, I don't even know what he was doing there. He just does like a little, almost like he's just moving his brain to the other side of his head. Like he knows when it's in the wrong place, it doesn't, he just shook it up. And he came back in. Even the way he handled the scandal was powerful. We thought for sure that Nkandla would be his downfall, and yet Jacob Zuma took something so serious, he turned it into a joke and threw it back in our faces. Where we are clearly living in a place where there is a poverty of politics, people asking questions, but they don't want answers, questions, more answers. We're investigating, they ask again, questions, more answers. Then in Parliament, we're here, point of order, yes, Nkandla. Thixo waseGeorge Koch. Who's this guy? Huh? He's just shrugging it off, evading, maneuvering. Never mind the Nkandla joke. I love the fact that he rolled his eyes. That blew my mind. I've never seen Jacob Zuma do that. He looked over and he was like, oh. When did Jacob Zuma start rolling his eyes? That's not something he does. Jacob Zuma doesn't roll his eyes, guys. Yeah. In fact, presidents don't roll their eyes. It's not a very presidential thing to do in Parliament, to roll your eyes at the opposition. Even the most defiant rulers in the world don't roll their eyes. When the UN is telling the leader of North Korea to stop making nuclear weapons, you don't see Kim Jong-un going, oh, whatever. You don't roll your eyes. But Jacob Zuma did, and he did it in style. I want to know where he learned it, how he learned it. Has he been doing this for a while? Yeah, because rolling your eyes is part of an attitude. You don't just roll your eyes. If you roll your eyes, you got that sass, you bitchy, you know? Is he doing more than that? Now I see Jacob in a totally different light. Now I'm picturing him hanging out with the rest of the ANC comrades, chatting about these problems. President, they want to know where's the money, Mr. President. Where did the money go? And he's like, I'm in relicas. Over and over. They keep asking me. I mean, literally, I'm dying now. Like, can't they get over it? Like that music guy, get a life already. Just because you hang with white chicks, I mean, please, whatever. Is that what he's doing? And if he is, where did he learn that? Where do you learn to roll your eyes at that age? That's what I want to know. It's not your friends, it's not your colleagues, it's probably your kids. Yeah, you learn bad habits at home. Jacob Zuma probably learned it from one of his children in the house, one of his daughters maybe. She was going out for a night with her friends, caught her as she was leaving. Hey, Wentombazan, where are you going dressed like that? Dad, I told you, I'm going out with my friends. I'm going to a party. First of all, you are already in a party.
Secondly, no daughter of mine will dress like that. Go and change.
Oh, Dad, what are you doing? You're killing me. Come on, why are you doing this? I can dress however I want. I'm old enough.
Hey, you will do as I say. As long as you are living under my roofs, which I have paid for with other people's monies, you will obey me. Go and change.
Oh, Dad, come on. Why are you doing this? Everyone else dresses like this. All the other kids do it.
Are all the other kids my children?
You never know.
Eh? Don't come in this house with that DA attitude. Go and change now. Whatever. What was that? What did you just do?
I didn't do anything, Daddy.
Don't lie to me. I saw it. You did something with your eyes. It looked like the Undertaker. But they came back. What was that?
I just rolled my eyes, Dad.
Girl, it made me feel so insignificant. What you did there made me feel like you did not acknowledge the seriousness of this situation. Can you teach me how to do that?
Yeah, like, it's easy. Like, you just roll your eyes. If someone says something you don't like, then you're just like, whatever.
Whatever.
No, Dad, whoa, that's too much. It's too much. You just gotta loosen up, you know? Just be like, whatever.
Whatever. I think I got it.
No, you don't have it, Dad. You're rolling your head. You're supposed to roll your eyes.
And my eyes are where? Exactly.
And he was off. Ready to roll, baby. And he did. He rolled straight into Parliament. Shut it down. Turned Nkandla into a joke. You can't bring Nkandla up anymore. It's over now. You say Nkandla in Parliament, people laugh at you. Yeah, immediately. What about Nkandla? It's done. It's done. Just, I love it so much. You know what I love most about the Nkandla thing? A lot of people don't realize this. Jacob Zuma was making a joke out of Nkandla, yes. But what was more interesting to me is the fact that he was mocking Mmusi Maimane, the leader of the DA. A lot of people didn't pick this up. When he's doing the whole Nkandla, he's mocking Mmusi Maimane's Model C English accent. That's what he's doing. Jacob Zuma thinks that he speaks funny. That is priceless. Jacob Zuma sits in Parliament watching Mmusi Maimane speak, and would like to know about the allocation of funds, more especially regarding the homestead at Nkandla, and whether, and he's like, this guy talks so funny.
Kandla, would you like some tea with your crumpets? Marshmallow.
Jacob Zuma is laughing. That's just beautiful.
Global stage at Nelson Mandela's memorial service, broadcasting to millions of people worldwide, translating every word for the deaf community. Sounds prestigious, right? Except you have zero idea how sign language works and you're just making up random, chaotic hand dances on the spot. Meet the ultimate imposter who somehow fooled the entire planet.
So many of our heroes, we chastise them. We bring them down. It's jealousy, it's hatred. Umona. Heroes that we don't acknowledge. Greats. After Nelson Mandela, we always go, nobody else can live up to that. Yeah, but there's small levels of greatness. You don't even have to look far. For instance, our great sign language interpreter. Tamsanga. Yankees. The man who made it all happen. Huh? He was there at Nelson Mandela's memorial service. A service that the whole world was watching. And because of that, the service was translated to everyone all over the world. Translated into all languages, including sign language. And so Jantjies was there translating for those who didn't understand. Unfortunately, he also didn't understand sign language. Which is a small problem. A problem that he didn't let stop him, people. Where others see obstacles, he saw an opportunity. People go, he's a con man. He's a bloody, how could he do something so deceitful? Yeah, you gotta go, how could he do something so deceitful? That man, Jantjies, showed something so powerful. He's a role model to the children. Because he showed that you shouldn't listen to what people say you can or cannot do. If you believe in yourself and you work hard enough, anything is possible. People told him his whole life, they're like, Jantjies, you can't do sign language. He was like, we'll see about that. Bitches. And he did it. He did sign language for the most powerful people in the world. Every single one of them, Jantjies, was on that stage doing it and doing it well. Nobody even suspected him. Nobody. People were just like, he's doing his thing. People ask questions, where did he come from? Did he sneak? He didn't sneak in. He'd been the official sign language interpreter for the government for the last 5 years. Yeah, official for the last 5 years. And apparently before this, people have complained. But obviously the complaints fell on deaf ears, so nothing was done about it. And so he just carried on. And now he was here, the biggest event of his life, signing for the world, signing, just making it up, in the zone. Nobody suspected. I suspected though. I did. No, I did. Let me tell you why. No. Let me tell you why. Not because I know sign language, but because I know my president. And if there's one thing that's specific, is when Jacob Zuma reads a speech, right? Jacob Zuma reads a speech. He's a very deliberate man. He's very calm, very measured. Takes his time. The rhythm is the most important thing. And Jantjies didn't match his rhythm. I knew there was something wrong. You remember this. Zuma was there reading Mandela's Wikipedia page, right? And while he was reading, Jantjies was doing totally different, like the rhythm was wrong. Zuma was there like, and thereafter, Nelson Mandela went to Robben Island for his imprisonment. Term and to fight for the rhythm didn't match, right? Zuma was on page 1, that guy was on like page 17 or something. It didn't match up at all. It's almost like Zuma was translating sign language for us. That's how slow it looked. Sorry, I haven't practiced, guys. It didn't match up. None of it. But Jantjies did it. He stayed there in the face of adversity and he fought. Yeah. He did sign language for everyone. We've got to ask ourselves questions as well as South Africans. We don't ask enough questions. For instance, did nobody think to ask him how he could speak every single language in the world? Every leader came from countries everywhere. They spoke in their language. Jantjies translated for everyone. Did nobody stop to ask? Even for a second. The president of Brazil is standing up there. Nelson Mandela está do pai. Nós Deus de você, de casa, do gosto muito, pela que ele estava pesado. Nós do Jantjies was there. Did no one say, hey Jantjies, you can speak Portuguese? I'm in the zone, Baba, I'm in the zone. Did nobody think to ask? He did sign language for everyone. The ambassador of China was up there. 가도시, 전도이 Nelson Mandela. 다도 입시fu, 다도 신주의 Kongolo pa toisi. Yankees was there on the side. He just made it up. He made everything up. And he did a great job at it. He did a great job. But then, like a true South African, he just took it too far. Enough wasn't enough. That's our problem in South Africa. That's all it is. We don't know when to stop. We take it too far. The same thing happens with tenders, all of these things. Guys are stealing houses and everything. I go, guys, I understand you want to steal. I understand that. I understand. But if you get a tender to build 10 houses, steal one, build 9. At least 9 people have houses. Don't steal all the houses. Somebody's going to notice. And then you can't steal more houses. But no, we want it all in South Africa. We take it one step too far. That's what Yankees did. He had done it for everyone. He'd done a great job. The best fake sign language the world had ever seen. He had gotten away with it too, until Barack Obama came up to speak. This was a speech that was going to be performed by the most powerful man in the free world. 90 million people watching that speech. This, my friends, is the point where you pack up your little bag of tricks and you call it a day. Not Yankees. If I was Yankees, that's where I would have called it quits. I say, hey, Yankees, next one. Who is it? Barack Obama. The whole world is watching this one. I know. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Hey, my fingers are crimping. I've lost my voice. Sorry. Oh, no, not Yankees. They're like, Barack. He's like, I'm there. And he was. Doing sign language for Barack Obama. And they found out that while he was doing the sign language, he kept on using the same signs over and over again, right? The few real signs that he actually knew. And apparently all he knew was 4 things that he kept on doing repeatedly. And those things, they asked afterwards, real sign language interpreters, they found that he was doing this, right? Which means greetings, yeah? Greetings, he kept on doing that. Another one he loved doing was circle, yeah? Circle. One of his favorites was smoking, yeah? And every now and again he'd go, get a little bit of that. That's all he did, over and over again. Can you imagine that? Nelson Mandela's memorial, Barack Obama pouring his heart out. There he is, Barack Hussein Obama. And Yankees. As Americans, Nelson Mandela's a man that showed that through peace, you could free not only the prisoner, but also the guard. Nelson Mandela's a man, he's beyond a man, he's a legacy. A legacy I could never aspire to be, but we can all look towards. And for me, Nelson Mandela showed that sometimes in life, you gotta go the hard way. You gotta say the things that matter. And always remember to do what counts. I could never be Nelson Mandela. Can you imagine how horrible it must have been for every single deaf person watching that speech? Imagine what it must have been like as a deaf person watching that at home, sitting there. That must have been the craziest thing they've ever seen in their lives. Deaf people just watching going, hello. Hello. What? Why is he talking about smoking? Why is he talking about smoking? Talk about Nelson Mandela. I'm talking about, talk about Nelson Mandela. What's wrong? Why is he talking about, what? Hello? Why did he? This is the worst speech ever. There's something wrong with this guy. Barack has a smoking problem. What the hell? Talk about Mandela. This guy, what's wrong with him? This is the worst speech. I can't listen anymore. This is horrible. This is horrible. Tell me when it's finished. I can't do this, man. That speech must have been ridiculous. By the way, that's only the second time I've ever told a joke about deaf people, ever. Only the second time. Told one joke when I was starting out in comedy and then I stopped because I believed you shouldn't make jokes about disabled people. It's the wrong thing to do. It's wrong, you know. And I never did it again until one day my life changed. I got asked to do a show in Sun City. I was asked to do a show. Sasol was organizing a going away party for the South African Paralympic team when they were going out to London. And so they invited me. They said, Trevor, we'd like you to come and do a show to perform for Ama Kroko Kroko. We'd like... Oh, you forgot. You forgot that that's the name we gave our Paralympic team. Not a nickname. That was our official name. We had Ama Pogo Pogo, Bafana Bafana, and Ama Kroko Kroko. We called our Paralympic athletes Ama Kroko Kroko, which means the broken things. A bunch of crocs. That is the worst thing you can call a disabled person ever. Ama Kroko Kroko. That is what we call. You can't Ama Kroko. That's probably what Reva said to Oscar that night. That's the only thing I can think of. Don't you call Ama Kroko Kroko? Ah! Ama. So anyway, I was doing a show for Ama Kroko Kroko, right? And because I'm there, I did no jokes about disabled people or anything that could be seen as offensive. I did nothing like that. And after the show, I was meeting some of the guys. Everything went well. And one of the athletes came up to me, and I'll never forget this till the day I die. He came up to me, and he was partially deaf. And he introduced himself, and he was a fan, a great fan. And he was like, hey, Trevor, hey, man, how are you? I said, hey, how you doing, buddy? How are you? Good to meet you. Good. He said, yeah, man, great to meet you. Great to meet you. I'm a big fan. I said, oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. He said, yeah, dude, like, I love your stuff. You know what? You should have subtitles because, you know, sometimes I don't get it because I'm partially deaf. I was like, oh, I didn't even notice. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I didn't even know. I just thought you had an accent. That's cool, man. That's nice to meet you. He said, yeah, that's cool, man. I didn't have a question if you don't mind. I said, yeah, go ahead. He said, how come you never tell jokes about deaf people? So I'm sorry, what? I don't tell jokes about deaf people. He said, yeah, how come you never tell jokes about deaf people? I said, what do you mean? He said, well, you tell jokes about everyone. Tall people, short people, black, white, everyone. But I've never heard you tell a joke about deaf people. Why? So you've never heard me tell a joke about deaf people? Yeah. No, man, not like that, you stupid. No, man, you're an idiot. I said, no, dude, I don't know. I don't make jokes about deaf people. He said, yeah, why not? I was like, because I shouldn't make jokes about deaf people because if I did that, then deaf people would be hurt and they would be offended. Why would we be hurt? It's not like we don't know we're deaf. So I thought I was protecting you. Protecting us from what? From laughing. We also want jokes. We're deaf. Yeah, we know we're different, but we still want the same things. I was like, yeah, but you know what's funny is you say I must make jokes, right? But even if you're cool with it, you know who will complain? People who can hear. Yeah, they'll complain on your behalf because that's what people do. They get offended for other people. They'll be the ones going, oh, Trevor Noah's an asshole. He made jokes about deaf people. You're like, so? Why do you care? I said, because it hurts. It hurts. He's like, dude, you're a comedian. Suck it up. It's easy for you. No, dude, just make the joke. If the jokes are funny, people will laugh and then we move on. I was like, yeah, you know what? You say that. But then what do I do if they complain? He's like, dude, if they complain, then complain. Okay? You know what? Go do the joke. Go do the jokes. And then, if they complain, you must do what I do. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, just don't listen.
Donald Trump wanted a border wall so bad it kept him up at night. But his architectural vision took a wild sci-fi turn when he decided the wall needed to be see-through. Not for aesthetics, mind you, but so Americans could watch out for drug cartels playing overhead volleyball with bags of cocaine. You literally cannot script this level of comedy.
I still can't believe the things Donald Trump says. He's such a... For me, Donald Trump is an emotional paradox, I'm not going to lie. You know, logically, I can process him. Emotionally, I struggle. On the one hand, I will admit I wake up many days terrified at the notion that he's president of the most powerful nation in the world. But I also I wake up many days knowing he's going to make me laugh. Yeah, there's terror and there's joy, and I don't know how to feel. You know what it feels like sometimes? It feels like there's a giant asteroid headed towards the Earth, but it's shaped like a penis. Like, I think I'm gonna die, but I know I'm gonna laugh. You just look at everything that he does. The world we now live in because of him. Like, you realize we're living through history. You know? This will never happen in our lifetimes. Like, living through a time when we're all learning about the presidency at the same time as the president. That's never happened. How wild is that concept? You wake up every day reading the news, and you're like, wow, I didn't know that. And somewhere at that exact same moment, he's reading the same news going, wow, me too. And nobody knows where it's going to lead. Nobody knows what he's going to do. All we know is that he wants his wall. He wants his wall. Donald Trump wants his wall. He needs $25 billion the last time he asked. He needs it from American payers because Mexico is smart. That fell apart real quick. I remember how confident he was at the rallies, people cheering for him. He was like, folks, we're gonna build. We're gonna build a wall, folks. Who's gonna pay? Mexico. And Mexico was like, we ain't paying for shit, man. We might build it, but we're not gonna pay for it, man. And I don't know if you've been following the journey of the wall, but it's probably the best comedy on TV, right? Because now they've started building prototypes of the wall at the border, right? Because Donald Trump said he wants them to test the wall first. I don't know how you do that. And I was like, try again. And because this is the prototypes, Donald Trump now has specifications for the wall. He now says he wants the wall to be made out of concrete, but he also needs the wall to be see-through, right? And the reason the president wants the wall to be see-through is because he said he's afraid that drug dealers from Mexico are going to shoot bags of drugs over the wall and it's going to hit Americans on the head as they walk by. So he needs the wall to be see-through so that Americans can see the drugs coming and catch it. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what a see-through wall is, but at this point I'm just worried that a contractor's gonna come along and trick the president. He's gonna take him to the border and be like, there it is, Mr. Trump, your invisible wall. And then just to make sure he buys it, he's gonna hire a troop of Mexican mimes just to be like, oh my God, you can't get through it. It works. Like the mind of Donald Trump. Oh, the idea he had for the wall was he said America should build the wall out of solar panels. That's what he said. He said America should build the wall out of solar panels because that way the wall would generate electricity and pay for itself. Yeah. Now, I'm not gonna lie, that's a good idea, right? It's a good idea. Unless you know anything about solar panels or the sun or wall. Because the problem with that idea is that the sun is up, yeah? We all agree on that? We're still on the same page there, yeah? The sun is up, right? A solar panel wall is not gonna work because a wall is like this. So technically it's facing down. So unless you have like a really swaggy sun that's like, yeah, I shine real low, B, it's not gonna work for you. The only way it works is if you take your border solar panel and lean it at an angle to get the sun's rays. But if you do that, now you've just created a giant ramp for Mexicans to shoot into America. He's like, órale! The mind of Donald J. Trump. The J stands for Jesus. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of self-loathing going on there. And he's always going after someone, right? It's always going after someone. If it's not Mexicans, it's Muslims. If it's not Muslims, it's Africans from shithole countries. And that one was my favorite personally, because I am an African and I've shat in a hole. I also liked it because like people came up to me and asked me questions. There was one man who came up to me after a show, really concerned. He was like, Trevor, hey, can I ask you a question? I said, yeah, go ahead, my friend. Trevor, I just wanted to know when Donald Trump says all these these horribly racist things, do you sometimes just want to, pack it up, leave America, go back to South Africa and escape all this racism?
Ever booked an authentic cultural experience on vacation that instantly made you regret every life choice you've ever made? One unlucky tourist's trip to Bali went from an awkward home tour to full-blown psychological terror when a snake charmer tried to kiss a profoundly depressed king cobra, and things went from 0 to chaos in 3 seconds flat.
So I went with my friends to Bali. They planned the trip. And before we went, I asked my friend, I was like, yo, Mitch, what are we going to be doing? And he was like, dude, don't ask questions, Trevor. It's a great time. I was like, yeah, I want to know what the great time is going to be about. He's like, dude, don't ask questions. I should have asked questions. Because we had fun. But the trip, there were a few things that were weird that I wouldn't necessarily do on my own. For instance, on the third day of the trip, right, we had what was planned, what was built in our itinerary as an authentic Balinese experience. Right? That's what they called it, an authentic Balinese experience. And what they did was, they woke us up at 5 a.m., put us in a little bus, and we drove for 3 hours. And when we got there, get out of the bus, we're in the middle of it, it's like a remote village, and the little tour guide, really happy, way too happy for that time, and he's just like, come everybody, are you ready for a good time? And I'm like, yay. And so he's like, my name is Deng Basan, and I'm going to be your guide. Today, you will have an authentic Balinese experience. So exciting, follow me. And so we follow him, he walks up to a little door, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is going to be like a temple or a cave or something. And he's like, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the real Bali. And he opens the door into somebody's house. This is not a museum house. This is just a house. Someone lives there every single day. He opens the door and he's like, this is the home of someone in Bali. He eats here. He sleeps here. I'm like, does he know we're here? Because we didn't knock. Nobody answered the door. For all I know, we're breaking and entering right now. We're in some weird Balinese gang. I don't know how this works. And as I'm about to ask the question, he turns and he's like, over here you can see the owner of the house. He's in the corner. And we turn and there's a man the whole time. He was just sitting there, frozen stiff. Now I'm like, is this guy part of this? I don't know if we should be doing this or should not be doing this. And Deng Basan turns to me, starts speaking to him in Bali. He's like, he's like, okay, you can touch anything. And so I'm like, oh no, I don't think we should. Before I can even finish, the people in our tour group were like, yeah, touch it all. Oh my God, touch it all. Oh my God, does he sleep here? Oh wow, is this where he eats? Oh my God, I could never do this. Oh my God, excuse me, thank you so much for having us. Oh my God, I appreciate my life so much more right now. Thank you so much, this is horrible. Can we take a selfie? Thank you. Are you on Instagram? I'll just put hashtag the man. Thank you. Oh my God. So I'm really awkward right now, right? Because this is something culturally I'm not supposed to be doing. Right? As an African person, I should not be in somebody's house rummaging through their life. So I'm standing in the corner, really uncomfortable. And the owner of the house, he's really accommodating. He's friendly. He's like, yes, thank you. Enjoy. Thank you. And then he turns and he looks at me. And this was one of the most magical moments, right? Because he was smiling at everyone else. And his face completely changed when he turned. He was a little hospitable. He's like, yes, thank you. And with his eyes, he proceeded to have the most in-depth conversation with me that I've ever had. It's not like the eyes conversation was new to me. You can have an eyes conversation with anyone you have a connection with. You know what I'm talking about? It could be somebody of the same race when you're in public. It could be a husband and wife. Wives are really good at having eyes conversation. They'll shit on you hard. You'll be in public together, and then you'll say something off. You'll be like, oh, if only she did that, and she'll be like, oh hell no, I cannot believe you said all of that. But it's just eyes. I cannot. You said all of that. Wait until the next. Oh, you want to air our dirty laundry out in public? Oh, you're gonna see how this is gonna end up. Oh, you say this and enjoy this moment right now, because you know it's over. And I shouldn't have done that. All with eyes, right? That's what he did to me. Because one minute he's smiling at everybody, and then he turns and he looks at me, and just with these eyes, he was like, what are you doing here? And so with my eyes, I was like, hey, man, I'm sorry. I didn't know this was your house. They said it was an authentic experience. That's why I came. He's like, yeah, authentic for white people. You got your own poor. Go back to where you came from. I said, yeah, I shouldn't be here, man. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. So I left. I go outside. About 15 minutes later, everyone's done with their poverty porn, so they come and join me. And Deng Basan follows the crowd. And he's having a blast, you can tell. He walks out and he's like, everybody have a great time? I know you enjoyed that. Now, it's time for a special surprise. Follow me, everybody, to the back. And he takes us to the back of the house, right? Where there's this area that they've laid out where clearly they have some sort of performance. There's a stage, there's raked seating, and he tells us to find our seats, and so we all sit down. And there's people from all over the world in our tour groups. Myself, my American friends, you got some British people, there's a French family, a dad and his son, they sit next. And so I sit in the front row, and Deng Basan comes back out, and all of a sudden he's wearing like a giant Balinese headdress, looking really beautiful, And he looks at us and he's like, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for an authentic Balinese experience? Please welcome the snakes of Bali. I'm like, the what? I'm like, oh, he said snakes. The snakes of Bali. And I look, and there's snakes. There's a group of men gathering snakes to bring out to us. And so I'm like, oh yeah, no, I don't, no. No, because you see, as a black person, culturally, I'm trying to not die. So I take all my stuff, I start packing it. And the French guy turns to me and he's like, my friend, where are you going? The shoe is starting. I said, yeah, no, the guy said the snake's coming, so I'm gonna move. I'm gonna go to the back. He's like, you're moving because of the snake? I said, yeah. He said, why are you moving for the snake, my friend? Are you afraid of a snake? I said, yeah. That's exactly what I am. I'm afraid of the snakes. He's like, such a big man, but you're afraid of a snake? I said, yeah, with a big brain. That's why I'm afraid. It's a snake. Like, you're not gonna trick me into not being afraid of a snake. Like, my toxic masculinity is not so high that I'll be like, yeah, you know what, man? Come on, snakey. Come on. It's a snake. Instead of just letting it go, this guy turns, he's like, I cannot believe it, a big man like this. Hey, Jean-Pierre, turns to his son. He's like, Jean-Pierre, monsieur le droit de l'huissier, le serpent, parce que le pardon aussi, and this kid's like, ha ha ha, snake. And he's like, oui, snake. Are you afraid? Snake. What is this? It's a snake. And these two carry on for like 15 seconds non-stop. Right? Just back and forth. Snake the whole time. He's like, snake, are you scared? Snake. I'm like, whatever, man. You guys lost all your wars. So I go to the back, right? I don't have time for this because there's snakes. So I go to the back, take all my stuff, and I climb up, and I'm sitting at the top, right? Because I want to see the show. I just don't want to be a part of it, okay? And so I've got my stuff, and I move all the way up to the top, and I sit there. And as I get there, the show stops, and Deng Basan's really excited, and he's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your first performer, the powerful Python." Dude comes out with a giant python wrapped around him, right? And this guy had this cool trick where they would squeeze him really tight, super tight, so tight you could almost hear his bones cracking, right? And then he'd make a sound. He'd be like, "Eh." And the snake would let go. And then it would start squeezing him again, and he'd be like, "Eh." And the snake would squeeze him again, and he'd make the same sound. He'd be like, "Eh." And the snake would let go. And I was like, wow, this is cool. Yeah, they're in a consensual relationship. I like this. This is, And so he leaves with the snake. The next performer comes out, and this guy had a green mamba with him, right? And so Deng Basan is like, ladies and gentlemen, the green mamba. And this guy comes out, and he had a cool trick where he took the lid off the basket, and the green mamba would come out, and then it would start doing like a little move, and then someone would play music, and then the snake charmer would dance with the snake, and they'd do the same moves. It was dope. It was like a Justin Timberlake video, just the two of them, okay? Like back and forth. I was like, oh, that was dope. And the snake goes back in, and then Deng Basan came out one final time, and he's like, now, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the final part of the show? Please welcome the King Cobra! And the final performer comes with the cobra, puts the snake down, this is the lid, snake comes out. And I don't know what it was about this snake, but you could feel the energy change. Like, they were all snakes, but the snake looked mean. You know? Like it looked like it hated life. There was something about it. Like the snake looked like it had a mortgage. Because it looked at us, and then it fixed its eyes on the charmer. And he was really cool and calm. He didn't even look at the snake. He addressed us. He was like, ladies and gentlemen, they say the cobra can strike faster than a man can blink. But can a man move faster than the snake can think? And I'm like, ooh. I don't know what that means, but I'm in. Because it sounds like a dumb Instagram quote, but I'm in. And this guy had the most amazing trick. What he did was, he got right up close to the snake, right? And he put his hands behind his back. And then he would make it seem like he was going to kiss the snake. And the snake would be no further than like a foot from his face. And then he would make this sound, like a kissing sound. And as he made the sound, the snake would try to bite him, and then he'd move out of the way. I've never seen anything like it. So he leaned in and he's like, come on, snake. Too slow, Snakey. Try again. No love for you, my friend. Come on, Snake. And all of us are enthralled. Every single one of us. No one's making a sound, no one's moving. And he does it over and over again. And then, to take it to the next level, he closes his eyes, pouts his lips. And I guess at this point, the snake was probably like, oh, I think I figured this out. This dude's gonna make the sound, and then he's gonna move. But if I bite before the sound, I can change everyone's lives. Because that's exactly what the snake does. The guy closes his eyes, pouts his lips. Before he can make the sound, it strikes him, pa, bam, hits him on the mouth, right? Cuts his lip open, blood goes spraying everywhere. Now, that should be the end of the story. That should be the craziest part of the story. No, this is the middle. The snake hits him on the mouth, the blood goes spraying. This guy jumps back and then acts like he didn't just get bitten by a snake. Which makes us think we're crazy, because we all saw it. Everyone in the audience was like, oh, and then he jumps back and he just like shakes it off. You know what he did? That thing, you know that thing that people do where like you get their hand jammed in a car door or something? Like, you know, like it's slammed and it'll be like, and then people just be like, He did that, but with a snake. So the snake hits him, the blood sprays, and he jumps back and he's like, Don't worry, we're fine. Don't worry. Don't worry. Everybody, we're fine. Relax, relax. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. But we weren't fine. You know how we know this? Because his face started melting on the one side, right? So his face starts melting, his lip starts turning blue, and he goes back to do his trick again, but he can't even stand, and then he looks at the snake looks at him, and he's like, okay, show is done. Good night, everybody. Goodbye. Good night. He runs off. And all of us are just like, what the hell just happened, right? He runs off. I have questions in my head. I'm like, is he gonna be okay? Do we get our money back? How does this work? And then we turn back and we realize he's forgotten his snake. And you know what the worst thing was? Is it seemed like the snake realized the same thing at the same time. Because the snake also watched him leave. And then as we turned back, the snake was also like, oh shit. And so now, it's just us and the snake. And mind you, there's no barrier, right? There's no concrete, there's no glass, there's nothing. It's an authentic Balinese experience. So we're all staring at the snake is staring at us. And then one genius decided now would be the perfect time to get an Instagram picture. And I don't know if it was the camera, the sound, or the flash. All I heard was click, and the snake jumped up and was like, and we were all like, and then it was chaos. Pandemonium ensued. Now don't forget, I was at the back, so I just jumped off. I was like, haha, being black saved me. I was out. Panic ensued. Everyone jumps up here on a scramble, like trampling over each other. The French guy was my favorite because he jumps up and he's like, Sacre bleu! Le serpent! Le serpent! Allez, Jean-Pierre, allez! And he's pushing the people and he's, allez, Jean-Pierre, Jean-Pierre! And when he turns, his son hasn't moved, right? So little Jean-Pierre is planted to the spot, terrified. And you see his face, he's like, Papa! 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 He's like, Jean-Pierre, allez, Jean-Pierre, allez, mon ami! He's like, Papa! Papa! So the dad realizes he's got to go back in and save his kid, right? But now this is moments where I think you can see the fundamental difference between mothers and fathers, right? Because A mother would run in without thinking and she'd be like, I will die for my child. Strike me now, snake. Right? That's moms. Will also save their kid, but in the back of their head, you know the dad is thinking, I'm gonna save my kid, but I don't wanna die. I mean, I don't wanna die because this dumbass didn't know to run when his dad was running. I mean, there's a snake, and I start running. Why wouldn't you run at the same time? Now I gotta die for your dumbass, which makes no sense, because I can make another one of you. You can't make another one of me. I should just make you a brother, and we can mourn your dumbass death together. I don't even know why we're doing this right now. I think that's what the dad was thinking, right? Because he didn't fully commit. Instead, he tried to sit behind his kid. And then he grabs the back of his hoodie and yanks him to safety. So now little Jean-Pierre is choking in the ground. He's like, and he finally gets him to the side. And another snake charmer comes running out, grabs the snake, puts it in the sack. And finally, danger's averted. Everybody's safe. Everyone is safe, but terrified. Some people are crying. Others are in shock. I'm standing on the side watching all of this. Little Jean-Pierre's there with his dad. They're both in tears. He's like, désolé, mon ami. Désolé, Jean-Pierre. Désolé. He's like, Papa, le trou de léger le pote le joie. Le pote. And I don't speak French, but I know this kid was like, you asshole, you left me. I'm gonna tell mom. I'm staring at them, and I guess they could feel that I was staring. So they both stopped at the same time. And they turned and looked at me, and I looked at them. And in that moment, I realized we're all human beings. We'll experience the same thing. We went through the same trauma. No matter what happened to us before, we're all human beings. Because they looked at me, and I could see in their eyes what they'd just experienced, what I'd experienced. And in that pause, I bent down. I got real close to them, and I was like, Snake.